Hey there! In this video, I want to show you how to edit one of our pre-done meal plans. Now, keep in mind, you can also add your own meal plan and start from a blank slate, similarly to how we did with the recipe bundle. So there is that option, but for this task, just to get started and playing with it, I want you to edit a meal plan that we already have existing. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So inside of here, I'm under the meal planning section in the left-hand panel. Now, if you needed to start or wanted to start from scratch, you could go to this add button and you can either pick from the automator or start from a blank slate. I personally like starting from a blank slate, and you can use the filter button, which I will show you when we edit a plan. So if I go into here, there are so many things that we can do with these meal plans. We can share them, we could deduct them down to 1 week. So most of these meal plans are for 4 weeks, but you could deduct them down to 1 week and then share it as a freebie on your website or on your social media. Again, you could use it as part of a challenge that maybe you're doing with a local gym, or maybe that you're doing with your online community. There are so many different ways that you can use these meal plans. So let me just go ahead and choose one. You can scroll through and take a look at what we have, but we're going to just select one for today to get started. When you are scrolling through, you'll see, the different tags that we have. So if you're looking for something that's like soy-free or gluten-free, you'll see that in the tags that are associated with the meal plan. So we're going to go over to this metabolism reboot meal plan. Now I am going to copy the meal plan. So up here on the top right-hand corner, we can go ahead and copy it. Now this will be the easiest way for me to edit this meal plan. So let's say that my client doesn't like this pumpkin chia seed pudding, right? That doesn't sound appealing to them. What they can do, or what you can do from your end, is go over to these three dots and you can remove this from the plan. Now you can head over to the filter button here and we can search for something to replace it. So let's say that we are doing low carb, just as an example. I'm going to put that one in here, and gluten-free recipes. And this is a breakfast recipe. So we're going to add those tags in. Now we might also say we want this breakfast to be no more than 510 calories, and make sure you're giving it a little bit of wiggle room, because if there's no wiggle room, the system will have a really hard time finding recipes to fit in with this. And then also maybe you want this to have at least 20 grams of protein, right? I'm just making things up here, but you can set the parameters however you wish and the tags however you wish. You can even go down to say, my client's really busy, I want this to be less than 10 ingredients. Keep in mind, olive oil, salt, pepper, any sort of spices all count as individual ingredients, so just keep that in mind. And then I'm going to hit apply. So now it comes up with all of the recipes that fit in with that parameters that we set. And as you can see, there are many recipes that are going to fit in with this. It's still populating. So let's go ahead and drag over one that we like. We're going to put this in here. You may or may not choose leftovers, and then you simply hit save. So now we have replaced that recipe. And if you want to see more details on any of these, you can click right into it and you'll get the recipe details here. So now if I head back, you'll see that the nutrition data has updated. You can also go ahead and take out weeks. So again, let's say that we want to use this as a lead magnet for on our website. So let's say I really like week number 2. I'm going to go ahead and actually delete the first week, this week, and then the last week here. So I'm going to delete all those. So now we're only left with 1 week in the meal plan. And we like this cover photo. Maybe you want to add your own cover photo. You absolutely can. If you've created, say, something in Canva that you really like the design work, you can upload it here. And then you can say mark as cover page. So when I click mark as cover page, whatever image that you put in there will show just as that. So if you've created something fancy in Canva and you want that to be your cover page, it will show just that way, versus having this overlay with the metabolism reboot with the title and everything on it. It won't have the overlay. But let's go back to the default. One other thing before I move on, you can toggle the nutrition data off if you'd like. So if you don't want your clients to see the nutrition data, you can toggle that off. I'm going to leave it on. You can also adjust it for more than one person. So in here, we want to set all of this these details for one person. So for example, when I go to edit serving size, it's still just one serving because it's one serving per person per meal. So we want to keep that all set for one person. The nutrition data will show for one person, but maybe we want the shopping list and the instructions to generate for two people because maybe it's a spouse, like a husband and wife, cooking together. So if I put two people there, that's how that would adjust. You can also add extra notes. So if you want to put like a medical disclaimer or something along those lines, you can add that in the notes section here. So I'm just going to write down medical disclaimer. But you can put whatever you want there. Maybe you put a little bit about you or how to contact you. Something of that nature can go in there as well. So now once I hit save, we have this edited plan that we can share either as a download. So if we wanted to export this, we can hit the export button. If you are exporting, make sure that you also export the recipe bundle because this is just going to export the meal plan, not all of the recipes that go with it. So if you can see this export here, we just have the meal plan and the shopping list, but we want to make sure that we also export the recipe bundle. So if I create the recipe bundle with that button that I had there, and then I export the recipe bundle, this will also export as a PDF. Okay, and you attach both to whoever it is that you're sending it to. However, I really like the links personally. I think it's much cleaner. I think it's much easier for your client to use. So if I go back to, oh, now we're out of there, but it was under meal planning and it's going to now be under your meal plans because it was an edited plan and it was titled Metabolism. There it is. Reboot. That's the one that you've edited. As you can see now, it's just this 1 week. What we can do is we can go to this share button here, toggle this on, grab this link, copy this link, and now this link is going to be the one that you send to your clients. And again, this will show with your logo, your business name, and your business website all on the top here. And from there, they can just click on this and they'll see the exact steps. So keep in mind that we changed this for two people. So now this recipe has leftovers. So it's going to show as they're going to make 4 servings today because they're supposed to put leftovers in the fridge for tomorrow, right? But they're having 1 serving per meal per person per day. But they're creating 4 servings when they actually make the recipe. Anything that shows up as 1 serving is actually going to come up as 2 in the directions because again, this is for 2 people now. That's why it's showing that way. So that is how you adjust a meal plan. Now, my task for you today is to go ahead and share this meal plan as a freebie, either on your website or on your social media. So announce that you have this. You can create an opt-in page if you'd like. If you have a system where you can create an opt-in page, you can do that as well. Or you can simply do it through DM, through Instagram, where people message you with a certain word, or they say, I would like to get your Metabolism Reboot meal plan if you're still very small, and you collect their email address and then send it over their way and start building your email list. But it's also very simple to create an opt-in page depending on which type of website software you use. So if you use something like Wix, you can do it on Wix. You can also do it on Go High Level or Kajabi, anywhere that you have it, but create somewhere where you can start building your email list and people can get this free offer from you.